All right, so I've gone back and I've added a bit of a too long didn't read section to this. Not that there's any reading for you to do. The outcome of this video and what I'm saying is a Bitcoin farm is not worth it. If you are looking to invest solely in the Bitcoin farm just for Bitcoins, the price at the moment does not meet the fuel costs or your initial investment from actually buying the GPUs. Now, if you're the type of person that's always running crafts, then there's merit to it and you might want to listen to the rest of the video. Otherwise, I appreciate you guys hanging out. Please like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you're thinking, and I appreciate it. And I'll leave you with just a small clip of me dying to a 3-man on interchange. Hey, how we going, guys? Bit of a different one today. Looking at the Tarkov Bitcoin Farm. Now, I was chatting to some friends about whether it's even worth it. As a completionist, I always try to complete everything in the hideout anyway, but I decided to take a look, and this is me installing it for the first time. So, looking at the cost of these items as they stand now, look, obviously looking around 50k for a power supply, 100k for the VPX, and look, the others will vary. And the problem, I guess, if you were looking at this now, today, probably going to be the same. In the 3 weeks, it's going to be completely different because it's still early in the wipe cycle. Now, with a single GPU, you're looking at a time of 40 hours, which at the moment with Bitcoin prices being at about 125k to therapist, it's not great. It's not great. It's not great, especially when GPUs are costing you about 280. At the time that I recorded this, it was about 300 after that, and it's hard to say where they will sit at the end of the, or I guess a few more weeks into the wipe, right? I'm just selling a few things here just so I can buy another one, just so I have a look at the difference, I guess, once you've added a second GPU. But with the low price of Bitcoins, GPUs may end up remaining cheap. I imagine they might hover around this price, but that'll remain to be seen, and that's kind of the problem, I suppose. We're trying to predict whether it's worth it for you. Now, with a time of 40 hours, when we add a second GPU, barely jumps down an hour and a half. So in terms of the Bitcoin farm, if you're looking at it solely as you're running your generators just for the farm, nothing else, you're going to be making, at level 1 anyway, with a single GPU or a couple of GPUs. Here we go, going to have a look. 128k every 38 hours. Now, that just doesn't make sense. It isn't economical with the price of fuel. It doesn't make any sense at all. So if you're looking at it just at a purely, I'm just running it for the Bitcoin farm, just trying to print money, it's not working. It's not working at all. It's going to take you at least 2 coins to pay off your initial investment in the graphics card, at least 2 depending on where the prices are sitting. And that's not even including the cost of the fuel. So when we look at fuel, Jaeger sells it for about 160 if memory serves. Yeah, so 160. Flea market, look, it's 115 at the moment, or 120-ish. Again, it's going to change. It always does. Fuel at the start of the wipe is generally less expensive as it goes later. So if you're running it for that, then fuel lasts, I think, 21 hours for the metal fuel tanks, and you're just not making your money back with a Bitcoin. Like, you're literally spending more money on fuel than you're going to get from Bitcoins. If fuel's about 120, your Bitcoin's about 120, but your Bitcoin takes 40 hours to make. Nah, just doesn't make sense. So look, I could do a giant breakdown for at what stage you're going to be paying all this back, but the short and long of it is, look, it doesn't make sense in an early one. Now, if you're like me and you have long crafts going, like here I've got VPX going, I've always got crafts going while Hideout. It's just what I like to have going, even if it's not particularly financially viable. I've got LEDX going there. It makes sense at that level to then have the Bitcoin farm going. If you have other crafts doing and that's a supplementary side thing, then yeah, absolutely makes sense. So if you're the type of person that's always crafting something, you've always got generators going to do something, it's worth building the Bitcoin farm, throwing in a couple of GPUs, because I will make back the money on those GPUs within, what is it, 40 hours per thing, 80 hours, a couple of weeks couple of weeks I've made that back, which sounds awful, but if you're like me and you play the wipe for quite a while, you see the return on investment over time, and as I find more GPUs, I'll just throw them in, or I might buy a couple just to supplement the cost of it. Now look, there's plenty of vids out there if you want the really deep breakdowns on how long it takes you to pay these things back over time and at what point it becomes profitable as a point of investment. But for me, it's just a sense of progression. I love trying to complete everything in the hideout. It is nice later on to then be printing money at a good pace, even though you will have invested millions more rubles into it. For me, it's just what I enjoy doing. But if you're looking at it from a purely money perspective, it is not worth it to invest in the Bitcoin farm. Now, that being said, in previous wipes, Bitcoins have gone up to, God, I think well over 500k at times because they try to follow the real life price within reason. Who the fuck knows if Bitcoin's going to fly back? I'm not a crypto bro. I don't know. So there's always scope for this to change, and that's the problem with making these videos is prices will change. If the Bitcoin price flies up, then this may be worth it. So if you're looking at this video and this video is 3 months old and Bitcoin's fucking bounced back or it's dived, the answer's going to change entirely.